Hi, welcome to the Jill and Stacy show. Wanted to review some things tonight with you guys. There was a Union City Council meeting on a fairness ordinance. It was voted down, but I'm sure you're wondering what that was. It was a packed room, angry people. My first recommendation is you always go to the source. Where are these agendas coming from? This is how you do research. So you're going to go to fairness.org and you're going to pull up their agenda. And it lays it all out for you. Don't even hide it. And then they have their legislative updates, what they oppose and what they support. Now, they oppose a House Bill 324, youth abortion restrictions. They oppose private school vouchers. They oppose the trans youth health care ban. They oppose anti-critical race and sex theory. Okay, so everything that you're doing to try and protect your child, this group is opposed to, and they have their own agenda. So I also put in here an article from River City News. I highly suggest you also look up this article. There was some interesting information about the meeting and some quotes. It goes over the agenda. The activists were called in because one of the council members is the one who proposed this agenda. And Hartman is the activist for the Fairness campaign, who was also present in pushing this agenda in the city of Union. And you guys were super upset. A lot of people showed up to this meeting. So that's why I want to point this out. A teacher from Ryle High School also sits on that council. He is quoted saying, "I find that if I vote one way, I am in conflict with my employer's mission statement and values. And I also find if I vote the other way, I have violated the trust of the people who put me into office." So I need you guys to think about that. His employer, who is educating your children, is on board with this agenda. So what is this agenda? It's the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Mr. Medford also had stated that he was going to abstain from voting because his school promotes this on a school and district level. So the next slides you're going to review here are taken directly from the Kentucky Department of Education training for your school counselors. Now, this was done in 2020, 2021. This is already in your child's school. That's the diversity, equity, inclusion. This is your CRT, people. This is where this is coming from. Now, the thing about evil people is they lie. So they've been lying to you. And I know that you parents have seen the social emotional learning. Where are we now? Remember, this is last year. Acknowledgement that diversity, equity, inclusion, and social emotional learning are all drivers within our curriculum. They should go hand in hand with teaching and learning. Hello, wake up. It's already happening. It's already in the school. Again, when you do your research, pay attention. Go to their websites. Go look what they're posting, their agendas, who's funding them. This is how you figure out exactly what is happening and what is going on. So some things I also want you to take note of when you're going through this training that was for our school counselors last year. The slide says to help us examine our privilege and implicit biases. They will give you who they work with. They will give you bills that have passed, SB 158 in the year 2020. They are creating activism in your schools. This is with your school guidance counselor. So how do we take care of the social emotional needs of our students, staff, and administrators during this time? That tells you right there who they're working with, that this is a push from the top down. Acknowledgement that our teachers, principals, support staff, superintendents are facing some of the most difficult challenges in history of education, heightened bipartisan politics, racial tension, and uncertainty. It's funny because they're the ones pushing all of that. Gaslighting to the max here. Again, you have to look this up. You have to go to KDE's website. That is where the agenda is being pushed. The Commissioner of Education was hand-selected by Andy Bashir, who's also on this agenda. And you can see from the slides, Team Kentucky's embedded in the logo directly at the bottom of the slides with the KDE's logo. So on creation of an equity toolkit, resources that help educators choose inclusive curricula. This is going to be embedded in everything. And that's what you need to understand is this curriculum, the social emotional learning, they want it in every classroom, every subject, every teacher. Now, your teachers are not licensed counselors. So they're going to have the school counselor put out the agenda and have the school counselor follow up with this agenda. Most of our students are Caucasian and need exposure to more diversity and assistance with unintentional biases. I mean, you have to fit inside a box. They have to separate everyone by their boxes. Click here, here, and here. In order to know how we can help, we need your feedback. When they say feedback, they're talking about the data mining. What systems do you currently have in place? All of the funding, record amounts of funding have gone to the public schools the last couple of years. It has to do with the technology. Why? Because that's how they data mine, not just your child, they're data mining your family. They're doing mental health assessments. Now, I did pick pieces of slides from this training, but all of these slides are from one training. So here you see it's tied into state assessments and accountability. It's tied into K-Prep. It's tied into the ACT, because these are also ways that they're able to data mine and use on their dashboards, also known as scorecards. Anything that says innovation is referring to the technology. And these are things that you need to study yourself as a parent to know what's going on in the school. Professional Development Growth Plan aligns with framework. What is that framework? Triage. Make referrals to mental health providers. Collaborate with teachers, admins to create learning environments with this agenda. Offer individual, small group, large group counseling programs. Facilitate advisory council for the comprehensive school counseling program. Okay, best practices and framework goes through that again. Social emotional development, career development, academic development. There's some people that feel free to contact them in these slides. It gives you their name. Advocate. They teach everyone in the schools how to advocate. Recommend, prescribe, commend, advise, favor, support, back, uphold, champion, stand up for, speak for, urge, promote, espouse, endorse, sanction, plug, and push. This is for your school counselor. Okay? Do you see where this is going? All KDE. So I do want you to take note, at the bottom of these slides, you have Team Kentucky to the left, KDE's logo to the right, and in the middle, you have something called P3, Principal Partnership Project. You guys want to know what that is? Again, you go to the website, Team Kentucky P3 Agenda. Look it up. It's your Kentucky Chamber. So when they say Kentucky's Talent Pipeline, they're referring to dashboards, data mining to pipeline your child right into their workforce. Public-Private Partnership Conference, that happened in 2016. This has been in the works for several years, folks. You can go to their introduction, talks about their pillars and their agenda. They want a healthy, educated, skilled workforce. Well, that's great. That's great. But they're not teaching your child how to own the company. They're not teaching your child how to own land, how to work the land. They're not teaching them to be entrepreneurs. They're not teaching them to open businesses, how to build wealth. Your child is pipelined into the corporations because that's who they work for. And how do I know that? You go and see who their trustees are, their board of directors, who provides the funding. It's all going to be banks, insurance companies, corporations, the large corporations who are pushing the vaccine on everybody. The agenda comes from the United Nations. It's a global agenda. global education, global healthcare, sustainable development. When they talk about their goals, they're talking about what they want to control. It is their goals, what they want to control. I put some pictures straight from their websites. Again, go look it up. They don't even hide it from you because they know that Americans are too dumb or lazy to actually go look this up. And it's way easier to program us to say you're a conspiracy theorist or, you're making stuff up. You're the liar. It's gaslighting. Look at China, because China was the test market. The goal at the end of the day is you will own nothing. They are buying up all the land. Look at Boone County, how much of Amazon has been bought up, or how much of Boone County has been bought up by Amazon. You will work for a corporation, you'll work for a government, or you'll be on government assistance. All of that equals you will be controlled. Look at how many people won't stand up and speak up and do the right thing, not even by their own children, because they're worried about their paycheck and being able to afford their homes. It's literally open air prison. You're slaves to corporations through workforce development. And when you're on the website for the chamber, the Kentucky Chamber, they actually have embedded the Department of Education workforce development. That is data mining your child, putting them into the workforce, into the corporation. It's a pipeline, and they even call it a pipeline. You guys, do some research. I saw how angry you were at the meeting. You didn't want this in your city. You didn't want it in the businesses. It's already in the school.